Anyway, welcome to CWC Unplugged. It's my great honor to be here. I can't even begin to express how strange this is. So we have written we've written a number of songs in CWC over the years. We've recorded some of them. You're going to hear a couple of unreleased songs, never before played in CWC. One of them not played by me until like Sunday or so. But I thought I'd start with something familiar. Now, I think many of you have actually heard me perform the Augustine Rap live before.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Sam did not want me to rap. Sam told me he wanted something melodic. So we will not be doing rap of Augustine today. We'll be doing something in a different genre that I know Sam treasures a great deal. Oh, Augustine, a hippo, dropping 3 and 54. Constantine had gone Nicene almost 30 years before. On the mean streets of Tagaste, a dog on the tear. They call him Del Monte, 'cause he's gotta have a pair. And play ahead his way with all the ladies, until the girl said, "Boo, chill, we're gonna have a baby." You can sing along. Oh, Augustine or Augusta. Oh, Augustine, he's lusting. Oh, Augustine, yeah, he's trusting. God made us for himself, and our hearts will find their rest in him. Went back to school in Carthage, the town the Romans flattened. In Hala, he's a scholar at philosophy and Latin. The Manichaeans told him good and evil they're a warring. The spiritual is admirable, the physical's abhorrent. He thought they'd give him answers that were hidden, but when they said to give up sex, he said, "Oh no, you didn't." Oh, Augustine or Augusta. Oh, Augustine, he's lusting. Oh, Augustine, but he's trusting. God made us for himself, and our hearts will find their rest in him. Let's break it down. Took a job in Italy and read up on the Platonists. Learned that evil is just the lack of good, and only good exists. A man in Milan named Ambrose tried to reach him. They said, "I don't believe his words, but bro's the bomb preaching." But then he fell down weeping on his knees. He heard the voice of children singing, "Take up and read." Oh, Augustine or Augusta. Oh, Augustine, he's lusting. Oh, Augustine, yeah, he's trusting. God made us for himself, and our hearts will find their rest in him. that melodic? Is that what you meant? Okay. So now we'll get to the unreleased songs, never before heard, probably except by Sam and myself, and even Sam like once. You might have heard this one. So we'll stay in the rough genre of country and western, maybe kind of into folk. And we used to do a lot more scholasticism in the course, and I think this predates everyone. We actually had 2 readings. We had Anselm's Argument for God, then we had Aquinas' Argument for God. So Sam, do you want to explain what you were going to do? So this is actually a part of a soundtrack to something.
Yeah, we were going to do a cartoon for this because I don't remember who, maybe it even goes back to David Williams or somebody else would talk about how scholastics would basically come into town and steal students from each other. And so we had this sort of notion of scholastics as kind of Old West gunfighters who would come into town, and they would literally have face-offs, and whoever won would get the other one's students. So we kind of wanted to shoot this sort of like a cartoon version of High Noon, you know, where Anselm and Aquinas were going to meet out on the dusty streets with the tumbleweed rolling by to have their scholastic philosophical face-off.
So I started with the title, The Ballad of Anselm and Aquinas. I thought, what if Johnny Cash would sing about scholasticism? Which, I don't know if this actually sounds like Johnny Cash, but we'll give it a shot. 'Twas in the Middle Ages 2 philosophers squared off to argue with each other how to prove there is a God. Anselm was a bishop in the 11th century. Tom was Prof. Aquinas at a university. Both men were Italian, but they lived in foreign lands. Anselm served in England and Aquinas taught in France. So Anselm and Aquinas, scholasticism's finest, fides querens intellectu. Faith seeks understanding in the medieval gloom. What Anselm meant by God, and that which has existence must be greater than a thought. This is the ontological argument. It's great lyrics. The fool may claim that what we name as God does not exist, but his mind must have imagined what his mouth just dismissed. Oh, Anselm and Aquinas, scholasticism's finest, fides querens intellectu. Faith seeks understanding in the medieval gloom. Thought that thought'll never prove that God exists. That's why he turned to Aristotle. Let your senses gather evidence, then write yourself a proof. And QED, God must be all truths, his truth, though Anselm and Aquinas, scholasticism's finest, fides querens intellectu. Faith seeks understanding in the medieval gloom. Fides querens intellectu. Faith seeks understanding in the medieval gloom. Yeah. The next song that has never before been played is actually written by Professor Mulberry. I think you need to explain this one, Sam.
This was my favorite thing about this is I think Chris wrote the bulk of that song during a final exam, and at the same time I was in a different room giving a final exam, and I wrote the song he's about to perform. Since I'm a lot less musical, I needed to just basically write a parody. So I took the old Schoolhouse Rock Bill on Capitol Hill, and then The Simpsons did a version of it that was an amendment to be. And I took those two songs and came up with a version that's about the Council of Nicaea and how a doctrine comes to be. So this one we need a couple people to participate in this one.
We do.
All right. So we need two people. It's just their actor parts. You just have to read some dialogue because there's some different characters.
So who would like to be a boy? Not typecasting or anything. And then we need a bishop. This is one line, but it's meaty. You can really. It has 2 exclamation points in it.
Whoa!
Can you handle it?
I think I can.
So as you read, make sure you speak up because we want to get this on mic. So
I don't really know why, actually. I never heard why this is all being recorded. Is this?
Oh, because I'm going to spend a lot of time in an editing bay tonight. And
Online CWC.
Oh, goodness. This is like blackmailing purposes, right?
It's going to go viral tomorrow morning.
So you can just kind of read when you want. I'll just kind of ease into it, and you can just start reading.
Woo, sure gotta climb a lot of steps to get to this church here in Nicaea. Well, I wonder who said that little scrap of paper is.
Yeah, I'm a doctrine to be, yes, I'm a doctrine to be, and I hope I'm declared orthodoxy. Oh, there's a man down in Egypt who says Christ was created. I'm out to prove that he's more closely related, the same substance and the deity. At least I hope and pray that I will, if I'm confirmed by the Nicene Council.
But I don't get it. Why can't the emperor just decide what the church believes?
Because the emperor is the secular head of state, so he holds no official power in the church. But he can use his political influence to call church leaders together into a church council. I'm a doctrine to be, yes, I'm a doctrine to be, and I hope I'm declared orthodoxy. Constantine called a meeting of the church's best teachers, wanted them to root out all the Arian preachers and unify Christianity. Hope they write a creed up real quick, declare Arius a heretic.
So what happens if you're right and Arius is declared a heretic?
Well, the church would be able to punish Arius and his followers by stripping them of their positions in the church. The emperor could tack on his own punishment, like banishing them from their cities.
Thereby effectively binding church and state power together.
Now you're catching on. Oh, I'm a doctrine to be, yes, I'm a doctrine to be, and I hope I've declared orthodoxy. Arians will be stripped of their priestly positions, will close all the doors of their heretical missions and chase them off to Germany. At least I hope and pray that we will, if I'm confirmed by the Nicene Council.
Good news, Doctrine. You pass.
Oh yeah!
Because I've never heard that song.
It's because I had the Simpsons song in my head. I had to go back to YouTube and listen to that half a dozen times. It's so hilarious. Thank you. Nicely played. Okay. So, yeah. Before I get to the last CWC song, there was a special request earlier today by Ms. Allard. So was it 2011, 2010? So one J term, Tara was in World War I with me, and I don't know if you had mentioned this. Someone mentioned this song from the 70s by a German Caribbean disco group called Boney M. That was a big hit in Europe called Ra Rasputin. There's a video of them going to the Soviet Union and putting on the big fur hats, and it's all about Rasputin, who was this figure we talked about in World War I because he dies during the war. So for Tara. We'll just play a little bit of Ra Rasputin.
That was
So,
my nickname all through middle school, I'll have you all know.
That was nice.
So to this day, Tara, anytime you find like a cover, you send me a link to it.
Ew.
Yeah. So. There lived a certain man in Russia long ago. He was big and strong, in his eyes a flaming glow. Most people looked at him with terror and with fear, but to Moscow chicks, he was such a lovely dear. He could preach the Bible like a preacher, full of ecstasy and fire. But he also was the kind of teacher women would desire. Ra Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. There was a cat that really was gone. Ra Rasputin, Russia's greatest love machine. It was a shame how he carried on. I believe it's silly.
It's a real song. It's
Oh, yeah.
actually on the Just Dance Wii game. You can pick that song and you can follow along. Why? Funny. Oh man.
Okay. And I thought we'd start with the one that kind of started it. Stop with the one that started it all and do the Reformation Polka. So, if this is really meant for guitar, but we'll see what we can do. Okay. When I was just a younger man, I studied canon law. While effort was a challenge, it was just to please my pa. Then came the storm, the lightning struck, I called upon St. Anne. I shaved my head, I took my vows in Augustine. Oh, papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. Make your mind against the man, face excommunication. Nail your theses to the door and start a reformation. Papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. When Tetzel came near Wittenberg, St. Peter's prophet sword, I wrote a little notice for the All Saints Bulletin Board. You cannot purchase merit, for we're justified by grace. Here's 95 more reasons, brother Tetzel, in your face. So, people's indulgences and transubstantiation. Make your mind against the man, face excommunication. Nail your theses to the door, then start a reformation. People's indulgences and transubstantiation. All of my tracks adored my widower exemplar. The Pope, however, hauled me up before the Emperor. Are these your books? Do you recant King Charles' dirty man? I will not change my diet, Martin, help me, here I stand. Oh, papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. Make your mind against the man, face excommunication. Nail your theses to the door and start a reformation. Papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. Duke Frederick took the wise approach, responding to my words by knighting George's hostage in the kingdom of the birds. Use Brother Martin's model if the languages you see. Stay locked inside the castle with your Hebrew and your Greek. Oh, people, bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. Make your mind against the man, face excommunication. Nail your theses to the door, then start a reformation. Papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. Let's raise our steins and conquer books while gathered in this place, and spread the word that Catholic is spelled with lowercase. The word remains unfettered when the Spirit gets his chance. So come on, Katie, drop your lute and join us in our dance. Oh, papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. Make your mind against the man, face excommunication. Nail your theses to the door and start a reformation. Papal bulls, indulgences, and transubstantiation. There'll be no encore.